Hey everyone, Erin Motz from Bad Yogi here. Welcome to this week's little video opinion editorial. This week, we're talking about sugar. Sugar is the devil. Sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Sugar is the new smoking. Sugar is responsible for your heart disease. Sugar is responsible for your divorce. Okay, I made up that last one, but I am not exaggerating the rest. The war on sugar in our culture today is absolutely mind-boggling, but it kinda makes sense. I agree that sugar is bad for you. There's like zero doubt about that. There is no nutritional value in things like soda or cotton candy. Naturally occurring sugar in apples is one thing, but high fructose corn syrup in the bread we buy? Who needs that? Now, why the corn syrup is there in the first place is a whole different conversation, but we'll stay on track. So we all know why we're programmed to crave sugar, fat, and salt, but the natural scarcity of those things in the wild meant that we never got more than our fill in one sitting. Now, of course, this stuff is in massive quantities all around us all the time. And we're regularly bombarded with more and more creative ways that we can kind of, I'll use the word poison our bodies with this stuff in quantities more than we can process at one time. Sugar in an apple, for example, doesn't cause our blood sugar to spike as quickly as something else because our body has to work to process the other nutrients that are in there as well. And in theory, if apples were the only sweets that we had available to us, we would have to eat like 2.5 to 3 large apples before we even got the amount of sugar that comes in like one Frappuccino. And eating more than 2 large apples probably isn't gonna happen for most of us because you're full. So there's a natural cap on the amount of sugar we would consume in nature anyway because the sugars that we would naturally eat come in the form of real food. But instead we have sugar in everything from our toothpaste to our protein bars to our cocktails after work. It's really inescapable without making a conscious effort to avoid it on our part. So as many of you know, I decided to go sugar-free in January just as a way to reset my taste buds. Not free of natural sugars that's found in fruit, just the added stuff in sauces and in desserts and that kind of thing. It was super difficult at first, but I'm honestly really glad I did it, and not for the reason that you might think. For me, going sugar-free isn't to restrict my life for the sake of restriction. And in my opinion, it shouldn't ever be. This exercise for me was about bringing awareness and intention to how I eat and what I eat. And I really start to see this when I realize how furious I am that my favorite protein drink has so many sugars in it, you know? This sugar thing is insidious. It is everywhere. It's right under our noses all the time, and we don't even pay attention to it. You know the phrase, when we know better, we do better. But in this case, I'd even add one extra layer to it. When we know better, we can be more intentional with where we want that sweet indulgence to be. Where is a little bit of sugar most important to you? For some of us, it might be a spoonful of sugar in our coffee, it might be a teaspoon of honey in our oatmeal, or it might be a chocolate mousse after dinner. I don't know, I'm not here to judge. But this awareness and this intention will put us well within a healthy range of sugar consumption for the day. And the best part about that is when you're aware of where you're indulging, you can enjoy it all the more. But of course, we could never get to that point without first examining where we're getting a lot of sugar in the first place, right? So yeah, for me, going sugar-free isn't about being super restrictive. It isn't about it being a permanent change for the rest of my life. It's about resetting what my personal expectations are around sugar and making it something that I truly enjoy and I'm intentional with and I'm aware of, not just something I consume out of habit. So that's all for today. I'm gonna leave you with that, and I want to turn the conversation over to you. What are your thoughts about going sugar-free? Do you feel like this is important? Do you feel like it's ridiculous? Do you feel like the fear around sugar is warranted, or we're all out of our minds? Thanks for listening. Again, my name is Erin from Bad Yogi. Now remember, there's 3 ways that you can practice yoga with me. On badyogi.com for all things free, my flagship program, PBYP, or in the Bad Yogi Studio with a constantly growing library. Thanks again for joining me today. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you all right back here next time.